everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to some more Minecraft tips and tricks. Today I've been going through the Mechanical Mastery mod pack and haven't made it super far into it, like maybe the end of the third chapter, but that's really quick to get there, so it's truly not that far into the pack. But I do have some tips and tricks to share with everybody who's checking out this pack. It's pretty cool. I've been enjoying it so far. So first things first, when you load into your world, it's a regular skyblock type pack. So you're going to start with your dirt island and a tree. And you do just want to go and you can access your quests through this button here on your inventory screen. And we'll go over this here just quickly there. So there's a lot of checkmark quests, right? Read up on the things, and this is just kind of like a show you where you are in the pack, you know. And all these tiers are here as well anyway, so this overview really doesn't do a lot for you. Configuration panel, though, is a real highlight in this pack here because you can do things like make it constantly daytime. You can turn off inventory gravestones, right? If you don't want that. So, you know, if you turn that off, just make sure that if you click this button there, then you'll lose your items after you die. Or if you do this one, you can eliminate your grave. Although, you know, if you die kind of in the void, then you're going to lose all of your stuff that way. We do have Forgiving Void in the pack, but still, like, if you fall through the void and you land on this small little island, some of your stuff's going to fall over the edge. You can get rid of phantoms with this button, and you can get rid of rain with this button. So few funky, nice quality of life features in there for everybody. You do get a bed right off the bat, so banishing the moon doesn't really do very much for you unless you're really want to get some mobs going there. There's also an overhauled ore processing. This will come into play a little bit later on, not so much at the beginning of the pack, but when you want to start optimizing how much ores you get out of all of your EMC, because this is an EMC pack basically, but at some point you're going to want to go through this and figure out, you know, the best optimization for getting the most ores or most ingots out of your ores. I think you can get up over 10 times, right? You can get 3.33 to the X for your ore processing. So that is that there. But you can keybind your quest button, which is what I did there. So just go keybind and then search for quest. I put mine on 1. I don't know what it was. Yeah, originally was totally unset, so you'll have to go and keybind it if you don't want to have to go into your inventory every time you want to look at your quests. So we'll get into the tier 1 thermal here. What we're going to be doing in this pack is we're going to be skipping doing all of the quests, and we're going to just sort of beeline for the end of chapter 1 and get into chapter 2, because what that can do for us is get us a whole bunch of EMC, which gives us a lot more freedom to do things a little bit easier and better for us. And I'll also try to, in this one video, if we don't get too long, try to optimize our way up to even getting to the end of the second chapter so that we can get into the third chapter, which gives us access to the rest of the basic materials there. But enough of that for right now. Let's jump in, and we do have vein mine in the pack. This is the one probe. If you don't know the one probe, then this is just the little book that you can read to relocate where your information shows up and how it shows up. So if you right click that, then you can change Oh, okay. So you don't actually need the book, I guess, according to this. yeah, you sneak and right click, and then you can change the size of it, right? You can make it bigger, smaller. You can move it to different areas of the screen. But yeah, that's how you use the one probe there. I don't usually use it, but I always keep the book in case I want to switch around where it is. We do have vein mine, like I said, attached to the tilde for FTB Ultimine, so we can mine out this whole tree at the same time. And we'll find that down underneath the tree we have a chest with our transmutation table, as well as an infinite water source and a lava bucket, so that we can get a cobblestone generator going right away. The one thing about the EMC in this pack is it's not everything has EMC. So apples don't have EMC, but saplings, oak logs do. Like lava, water buckets, those kind of things don't have EMC. So it's you can't just cheat everything with that mod, but the whole pack is based around it in the first place, right? So I'm just trying to see. We're on the this is 0, right here. So that's probably where I'll end up putting my transmutation table to start. And we do have 4 rows. Yeah. 4 layers of dirt down there. So you got a little bit of dirt to start off with, but you don't really need it either, right? But I'm just going to put mine down here on 0, and that's where I'm going to put my transmutation tablet, because I'll build my whole island around the 0 mark there. But first things first, you want to, anything that has EMC, you want to make sure that you shift click it into your tablet, or you can also just put it in this thing here to also learn it as well. But we'll go back to the quest right quick here, and in the very first quest, you get duplicates of all of your things here. So just to save on storage space, you can leave these all unclaimed. But you know, if you have your nighttime, you can get your bed automatically through here. You can get an initial source of food. Oh, this is just a check mark test. So yeah, we'll get some food. You definitely want to pick up the coal, because that has an EMC and can also get you an initial source of burnable fuel, but you pretty much don't want to be using the coal off the top. You want to make charcoal, because it's going to be a lot more EMC effective, and that'll be the whole name of this pack, is trying to squeeze every bit of efficiency out of your EMC as possible there. So tier 1 materials, we want to get a piece of cobblestone. Well, it's given us everything that we need, except for obviously we'll need a pickaxe. And we'll also need put down our chest somewhere. Definitely change your crafting table into a crafting station off the top, because then that way anything that you have in your chest you can craft with straight out of there, right? So cobblestone, and we'll just do the simple cobblestone generator. We only need 1 piece of cobblestone because it has EMC, so we don't risk losing our piece of cobble or anything like that way. Let's do that. There, cobblestone's now in our transmutation tablet. We can get as much as we want anytime we want. I'm going to pull out a whole stack. Need a couple of furnaces. And you definitely want to get started on doing this right quick as well, where we put 2 sticks and 9 pieces of log in there, and then that'll get us started on the charcoal for making cheaper fuel sources. And this little thing is one of the reasons why I haven't been doing a lot of recording lately, because I have very little amount of time to actually do anything, because she's always constantly yearning for my attention. So just have to put this on a quick pause while we take care of her needs. So we'll be right back in a minute there, guys. All right, we're back. The other neat thing about in the pack is you can see the EMC value, and then with the red X beside it, it means that you haven't learned it yet, right? So if we put that in there, we pull it back out, we see it's got the green check mark beside the EMC one, so that means that's an easy way for you to tell whether you've learned any of the resources, right? So just a quick way to do that there. So I totally forgot to tick off the boxes in the configuration. So come back daylight. And not there are going to be any phantoms, but if I do turn it off because I want a mob farm later, and I forget about it, I'm going to get rid of the phantoms for now. We can always bring them back later if we need the membranes for anything, right? So we'll just do that there for now. So we do want to, like I said, optimize getting through the beginning of the pack. And what we do is once we've got that open, we get 64 free there. Then we can just do all these check quests, which will give us a little bit of basic resources. But as I mentioned before, we're going to be throwing all these into the transmutation table and just get the EMC out of it. And then that gives us a good base to start working with. We'll do that, and then just throw everything that gets in there, and we end up at about 32,000, give or take, right? I didn't leave that cobblestone in there yet. So give or take 32,000 EMC to get started, which will get you quite a ways getting some of the early machines in this thermal section. But we can get a lot more if we beeline it towards the end here, because once we get our basic mechanical essence and we compress it into the mechanical crystal, we'll get 16 of these back, which the only use for these is EMC actually, because these have no actual uses. And the only way to make them is to use a multi-servo press to compress them down. So we'll definitely need a multi-servo press, and we'll also need a way to power the multi-servo press. So those are the two things that we need to work on. So that's a Stirling dynamo. And the multi-servo press. So the dynamo's not too hard, but the multi-servo press needs these ingots, bronze and constantan. So we'll need to make a couple of alloys along the way, which typically you would want to do in an induction smelter, but we'll do it the hard way to start here. But we got to go through this quest before we can get to that quest there. So this one is just making any plate, any rod, and an engineer's hammer. And note that in this, any rods, sticks count. So that's a thing there. But all the plates, basically probably the easiest one to do is an iron one. So I've done some brief calculations here. So we're going to want about 30 iron, 2 gold. We need 5 redstone. So you're actually going to have to make an iron pick to get the redstone. That'll be the most efficient way there. We need to cook up 2 stone because we need 2 regular stone for the multi-servo press. No, for the dynamo, we need 2 regular stone. And then 9 copper, 2 nickel, and 4 aluminum. So I'll get all of that together and bring you guys back when that's done. All right, and we're back. So I've got my 30 iron cooked up, 2 gold, 2 stone, 4 tin, 4 copper cooked, and 4 aluminum cooked, and we're gonna need 5 raw copper, 2 nickel, and 2 tin uncooked, because we're gonna need to crush these up to make those alloys that I was alluding to earlier, so that we can get our multi-servo press going there. So back to the quests, we're going to need the engineer's hammer. I've already got sticks, so I've got the rods done already, and then we just have to make the plate. And then on to making the basic mechanical essence, which is basically just, well, it's not basically, it is just an aluminum gear, an iron gear, and 2 copper rods. We're going to make the copper rods the expensive way just for the first one, but otherwise we would do them in the multi-servo press. You just have to make the rod die. The dies are a little bit expensive because they take Invar plates and a gold rod, but once we get past this first stage, we're going to have tons and tons of EMC to work with, so there's going to be lots of ways to do that there. Just note that these recipes I'm doing isn't the absolute most efficient way you could do it. If you're trying to look to do your most efficient way, you'd want to make a pulverizer and pulverize all of your ores, and that way you get a little bit extra chance to get back some bonus resources when you pulverize in the thermal pulverizer, at the cost of you're going to need to make energy, right? You're going to have to feed the Stirling dynamo some more fuel, but you know, not that charcoal is real hard to make, right? It only costs you what, 24 EMC to make, 32, sorry, to make each piece of charcoal, whereas you know, if you're taking coal out of here and breaking coal, that would cost you 128 per piece. So it's definitely always at the beginning cheaper to do your coal that way. So we're going to need that down there. We're going to need one of these guys to break him up. Oh, I forgot, we're going to need 9 nuggets. 1 nugget for the hammer. There's our plate. We can always put this plate back in a pulverizer or into an induction smelter and get our iron back, so it's not a waste really there to do that at all. And we're going to need all of these guys broken up. Now we're going to go and make the Stirling dynamo here first, so we're going to need an iron gear, and then we're going to need this. Oh, so I only got 4. I got 5 in my test run, and well, occasionally you get a random amounts, right? So see, I got 5 that time, so just unlucky on camera. That's the way it's always got to be because I'm SJM, but that is the way it is. So we'll need one of those coils. And now we have the Stirling dynamo. That guy down anywhere for now. You're probably going to have a bigger expansion, so, or your base expanded out. I'm just doing this as quick as I can here for the video, right? So the next thing we go after is so we'll need 4 bronze. We'll need 2 Constantan, and the reason why we stopped at 2 is because we can complete this quest and get 4 more ingots there for free, right? I typically leave all of these experience quests open for when I need if we need the experience later on, but that is what it is. We're going to need 2 of these rods. We're going to need essence, right? essence. The iron gear. Gonna need the aluminum gear. And then we just need to make this multi-servo press. So we need another one of these coils. Block of iron, which is where most of the iron goes. Oh, we need the tin gear. Got to grab 4 more cobblestone for our machine frame. And now I just got to make my bronze and my Constantan. So I forget, I don't think mini coal is in this pack. No, so this is going to be slightly inefficient, but that's fine. Not worried about it. I'll bring you guys back rather than wait for these to cook up. All right, so we're on to 2 Constantan gears, multi-servo press, a little bit of juice for a dynamo. Let that guy get some energy going. Grab our mechanical essence. Then this is a little bit longer process, but that's fine there. That'll take, you know, I think it's a minute, a little over 45 seconds to a minute to make that there. The next thing I wanted to go into was with the transmutation tablet. The next thing, now that we've got the multi-servo press up and going, is we're going to want to change our table into a tablet. And to make the tablet, we need Invar plates. So we just need to make Invar. Invar is not too hard to make at all. It's just 2 iron and 1 nickel. So you'll do that whole crushing thing that I explained before, or now that we've got the dynamo, you can always make a pulverizer, and you don't actually have to worry about power efficiency that much because we have the carry-on mod in this pack. So if you just crouch and pick something up, you can put it back down. It'll keep its energy in there, so you can switch out between, you know, a pulverizer, induction smelter, or whatever with just the 1 dynamo, and not have to worry about these horrible basic power transport doing the power mod things. If you're a completionist and you want to finish all of the quests, absolutely go ahead. You get some extra basic energy cables if you just make some of these starter ones, but I don't like them at all, and I'd rather just try and skip ahead straight to the mechanism ones. So it's not too far away at all. But yeah, once we've, like I said, once we've completed that quest there, we're going to get 16 mechanical essences, as well as being into tier 2 and getting all of this stuff now for free. So we'll collect that. We'll get a diamond ore. Oh, get some lapis. Netherrack. Netherrack's the big one because we're going to be, that's what we're going to be using for our main power source at the start. A little extra EMC right there. This is not EMC here. You have to actually get crushing wheels to get the cinder flower, so that's not a good stop off there. But the next most important thing is we want to get to some leather, so we got these industrial hemp seeds to do that. Like I said, we're just going to throw everything that can go in, and we end up over 170,000 EMC. So now you have lots and lots of juice to play with to be able to go ahead, backtrack, do some of the questing, get, upgrade your transmutation table into the tablet, and also do this handy thing right here. So we want to get one of the sophisticated backpacks that needs leather and string. And so 4 leather, 2 string, that's all done through the industrial hemp, because you can cook the tough fabric in this pack to get leather. The tough fabric is just 8 hemp around the stick, and then you'll get the tough fabric there. So you want to rush to this backpack there, because the handiest thing in the very early game, other than, having the crafting station attached to your chest for easier auto craft, or, doing a lot of the hand crafting, but the downside of this is it's stuck to the ground, and you'd have to come back to this central area wherever you have this set up. Whereas you get the transmutation table into the tablet, you can bring it with you to whatever part of your base that you're working on. You can grab the, and once you have the backpack with the crafting upgrade, which is really simple to make. Why can't I see it here now that I'm under the pressure, right? People watching me. So if we just do that, then we'll get all of the upgrades, and there it is. So just a crafting table, 2 iron, a chest, and then the blank upgrades, just another piece of leather there. So that's all really simple. And I forgot to grab bones. Just need 1 bone, so do this, bang, bang. Maybe a few more bones to make that grow up, but yeah, it just takes a little bit of EMC to get yourself some. Actually, we probably only need 1 more there, right? Yep. Because the hemp fiber itself has EMC as well, right? So you can just throw the fiber in there, and then you can pull out as much as you need to make your backpack and get your back. And then also, you don't have to, but eventually you'll want to upgrade your backpack to the iron, gold, and eventually like diamond. You probably won't want to do the diamond one until you actually get your initial automation running for your basic essence there. Just to note, a couple of the easy things to do on your way to get through the second tier here. We'll go over this quickly. Andesite can be made either washing soul sand to get nether quartz, or making the high covalence dust and just doing this to get past this stage easy. The high covalence is, you need a lot of this anyways to make your EMC links, but it's a pretty easy recipe which you have access to right off the hop. And then you're gonna have to make a coke oven and a blast furnace so that you can get to steel. And then once you have steel, you'll be able to make better power options, better cables, rather than going with the pretty pipes, because it's powerful and it's decent, but it's a little bit of a pain to use the pretty pipes, and it's a whole bunch of extra micro crafting. But you'll probably want to just be using the mechanism ones later anyways. So just blast through this, get to the steel, and then getting your regular mechanical essence. Just needs in-bar steel. You need to get these on autocraft so you can get up there, and bronze. So you got a whole bunch of figuring out to do to get that automation going, but that's not hard, and it's a little bit more of a trek to get here. It's not a 10, 15, well, what are we at now, 20-minute video, 30-minute video to get there. The other things to point out in here is that we have builder's wands. So that'll just make when you're building out your platforms a lot easier. They're just the regular simple wands, 2 sticks and a piece of iron, diamond if you're so inclined. If you need to get a lot more usage out of it, obviously Nether Star's the next stage up, so you're uh, not going to that stage too quickly. But that was that there. What was the other last things that I wanted to touch on here? Oh yes, so power systems. We kind of want to stay away from these Stirling dynamos. Like you can see here, it's just sitting around, it's losing power when we're not using it. I guess I could probably pick this guy up and put him back there and at least get the juice out of him back into here. Oh, it actually doesn't push power when it's not producing. I never noticed that before. Guess if I did that, it pushes the power once I started producing. Then that way it's not draining at the very least. But yeah, these Stirlings will suck up a lot of your EMC, feeding them coal or charcoal as it would be, you know, which is another thing that you have to tend to because you'll be cooking up charcoal in these furnaces all the time to feed these guys. You want to get to the magmatic dynamos really quick. So they're not hard to make at all. Pretty simple. Just Invar gears, iron, some Invar and some iron. And the magmatic dynamos will burn lava, which you make in the magma crucible. And the magma crucible, again, itself, just you have to cook up some netherrack to make the nether bricks and get a piece of glass through the pulverizer, more Invar there. But the magma crucible, which will turn netherrack, so you'll get an EMC link, which is in the first chapter. I forgot to point this out. Or the input output, the EMC IO. These are the guys that you use to basically insert the items that have EMC straight into your machines. That's why I mentioned the covalence dust. You're going to have it anyways because you're going to need these. But yeah, you get the EMC link supplying your magma crucible with netherrack. The netherrack turns to lava, feeds the magmatic dynamos, and it turns Oh, I know where to go. No, I forget how to see it. Oh, this is where it is. So it only takes 1,500 RF to get a half a bucket of lava, and that so 2 of those, so 3,000 RF gets you 100,000 back. So you get a huge net plus out of that. So it'll feed itself, and that'll be your power source to go basically, and probably even until you get into mechanism fission. So that'll last you a long time. You just have to scale it up with the number of machines that you have running. But that's not hard to do at all. And you're just running some of the mechanism pipes all over the place, which is not very hard at all. Any last thoughts that I had written down here that I wanted to make sure I let you all know about? Yeah, so when I went through this pack and I was doing the first stage here, I was, pretty much doing the completionist thing, and I needed to have a steady source of EMC coming in, which was basically a tree farm. That's like a lot of automatic, like not automatic ways that, every so often I have to go out and I have to chop down all my trees and then turn it into EMC to be able to, pull more metals out to make more machines to set up all of my automation for my basic mechanical essence. But once we get into the tier 2, you can do another like a pointed out there, the hemp seeds and the hemp fibers have EMC, so you could set up a big farm of those along with some create to have an automatic way to collect EMC there. Or you could even do like your super basic cactus farm, you know, like 4 pieces of cactus, 1 bucket of water, and a hopper, and just have that running in the background while you're doing all of your stuff for a passive source of EMC. You probably want to have more than 4, but just, you know, if you just Google up an effective cactus farm there, you could probably, you know, get, you know, X thousands amount of cactus per hour if you really wanted to put the work in to do that. But that's fully automatic, right? You just have to go grab your cactus and throw it into your EMC tablet, and there's no real collecting needed. But that's the same as doing the create one there as well. So jumping to the stage 2 as fast as possible, like I outlined in this video, is definitely the way to go, so that you can get that, you know, automatic EMC input. Once you have these essence, the basic essence automated, that's definitely going to be that'll be the biggest gains of EMC over time. But you'll probably want to have this passive way to do it to get you started anyways. I hope you all enjoyed that episode. I appreciate you all for checking it out, and we will see you in the next one.